This is what everyone thinks selling a business looks like. But this is the ugly truth they don't see. As the former CEO of a $100 million company and a value growth and M&A advisor, I've educated and advised thousands of business owners. And I've seen firsthand what happens when owners don't prepare for life after the sale. The result is often reflected in a startling statistic that 75% of business owners feel regret selling their business within just 12 months. Today, I'm giving you the brutal truth about what happens after you sell and how to ensure your exit doesn't become your biggest regret. Let's start with the first ugly truth from my book. It's about the loss of your personal identity. When your name is on the door, or you've spent decades being the ultimate leader for your company, that business isn't just your job, it's your entire identity. Your social circle, your daily structure, and your self-worth are completely anchored to your role as the owner. But the moment you close that transaction and make the sale, that identity is stripped away from you overnight. In my M&A experience, I worked on sell-side deals with founders who achieved successful financial exits. They thought they were running toward their absolute freedom, but months later, they felt completely lost outside their business. They played golf for a bit, they got bored. They had no daily structure and no sense of purpose. They went from managing teams and making major decisions to waking up with an empty inbox and nothing on their calendar needing their attention. If you haven't built a fulfilling life outside your business, well, you aren't entering a state of freedom, you're entering a state of isolation. You want to survive the identity shock. You have to build separate personal readiness strategies to help you before the sale. Start expanding your roles outside of work. Build up your social circles and deepen relationships with people who have absolutely nothing to do with your day-to-day work. And constantly remind yourself that your business is a separate asset that you created. It's not who you are. The second ugly truth is even more brutal. Half of the founders watching this video won't even get the chance to choose how or when you leave. A massive 50% of exits in the market today are completely involuntary, caused by unplanned events we call the 5Ds: distress, divorce, disagreement, disability, and death. When you don't proactively manage your transition, a crisis may eventually manage it for you, and it will destroy the value you spent a lifetime building. I worked with a client named Don who owned a mechanical contracting company. He was experiencing immense daily stress, and the financials of the business were challenging. He knew he wanted to sell, but he fell into the classic not now mentality, constantly putting off the hard work of structured exit planning. Then the unthinkable happened. Don died unexpectedly. His grieving family was left completely exposed, trying to figure out what his wishes were and manage a complex company they didn't understand. His wife reached out to me to piece together his unwritten intentions and figure out what to do with the business. You cannot afford to treat exit planning as a project for the distant future. Build a documented contingency plan for everyday disaster situations. Secure key person insurance to give your company a financial cushion if tragedy does strike. And ensure your partners or family have immediate legal access to financial records, critical passwords, and corporate accounts. The third ugly truth happens at the deal table, getting chained to a business you've already said goodbye to in your head. When a corporate buyer or a private equity group looks at your numbers and realizes the business is completely dependent on you or your personal relationships or your day-to-day management, they get terrified. They get spooked. They see massive risk. So instead of writing you an all-cash check at close, they use a mechanism called an earnout. An earnout is a legal term that means the buyer holds your purchase price hostage. They pay you a portion up front, and then the remainder is only paid out over 2 or 3 years if the business hits strict future financial targets. In my book, The Business Transition Handbook, I talk about founders who pride themselves on being the ultimate rainmaker. They manage the biggest client relationships. They make lots of operational decisions, and they step in to wear every single hat. But during due diligence, when buyers ask the fatal question, what happens to the business after the owner leaves, the answer can be troubling. The deal can collapse if buyers walk away, or something that I see all the time is that you can be forced into a restrictive earnout due to the owner dependency risks. Those years can be corporate misery. You no longer have majority control. You have a boss, and you have to watch other managers take over running your baby in ways that you might completely disagree with. An earnout is a direct penalty for a lack of exit planning. If you want a clean break and full value upfront, your business must be able to grow and thrive without you. Systematically reduce owner dependency by empowering and building a strong management team who can take over your roles and responsibilities. Document your core operational practices so the company's knowledge is internalized and not just isolated inside your head. Shift your business from a relationship-based model to a systems-based model long before you go to the market. If you want to dive deeper into these topics, grab a copy of my book. Visit lauriebarkman.me/book. The link is in the comments, or search for the Business Transition Handbook on Amazon. The final ugly truth is that a long track record of past success does not mean your business is valuable and transferable today. Many owners plateau at the top of their growth cycle and slide downward without realizing what's happening. If your revenues are flat, or if you're completely reliant on one-time project-based sales, buyers are going to perceive your company as high risk, a turnaround opportunity, and likely hit you with a lowball price. That reminds me of a business owner named Bill. He had a software business that had a meteoric rise in value because of their market niche related to Y2K technical issues. At its peak, the company grew to $10 million in revenue with a staggering $30 million valuation. Bill rode the wave, but he waited too long to execute an exit strategy. As the market evolved and his company growth potential began to shrink, the value evaporated. He learned the hard way that timing the market and maintaining a sustainable competitive edge is everything. To protect your enterprise value from sliding down the wrong side of the curve, you must aggressively de-risk your operations. Analyze your concentration risks. Ensure no single customer accounts for more than 15% of your total revenue, and diversify your supplier network. Pivot your revenue model away from one-time revenue transactions and build a predictable recurring revenue model or subscription framework. And measure your customer satisfaction, customer acquisition metrics, and understand your monthly churn to prove your cash flows are defensible and built to last. If you want to avoid the post-sale depression, the forced crises, and the earnout traps that destroy so many exits and transitions, you have to find out exactly where your business stands today. You need to see the company the way an outside buyer would see it. If you're not sure how to view your business and how dependent your business model is on your day-to-day presence, that's exactly why I created the Founder Freedom Assessment. It helps you measure all those things. Head over to btsherpa.com/founder freedom. Take the assessment for free and see your baseline readiness numbers. The link is also right below in the description. The ugly truth is that a truly successful business exit has very little to do with how much cash is in your bank account, and everything to do with structural and emotional readiness. If you don't take the time to deliberately plan for the day you let go, the regret will find you. This connects perfectly to a recent video that I did called 8 Ways to Increase the Value of Any Business. In that video, I talk about learning how to master the 8 critical value drivers, from financial performance and growth potential to recurring revenue and customer satisfaction, which is the exact secret weapon you need to eliminate risk, protect your equity, and build a massive success. If you're looking at your life and your company today and realizing, I have no idea what my business is actually worth, and I'm not ready for what happens when the music stops, let's fix it together. Go to btsherpa.com/call to book a 30-minute strategy call with me. Together, we'll look at where your business is today, what's holding you back, and how to protect your business in the future. Don't wait for a burnout or an unexpected crisis to force your hand. Head to the description right now, click the link, btsherpa.com/call, and let's start engineering an exit on your terms without regrets. I'll see you there.